Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video we are going to be doing a classic what's in my camera bag video. You've probably watched about a million of these before and you're probably on a spree right now. You're probably watching a bunch right now, but yeah, this is going to be what's in my camera bag. I'm Mitchell Coyle and I'm a adventure, travel, landscape, and even a little bit of wildlife photographer. And yeah, I just wanted to show you what I carry around and what's in my kit for 2019. So yeah, let's dive into it. First, we'll start off with the bag that I use. And yeah, the bag is the F-Stop Ajna backpack. It's an awesome bag. I've had it for about a year and a half now. I got it right before I went to Patagonia with Brendan Vanson and Thomas Heaton. When I went there, everybody was using different bags, and within a year, one of the participants from the trip, her name is Chris, she has switched from a low pro bag to the F-Stop. And then even Thomas Heaton has switched from his previous bag to this exact same F-Stop Ajna bag because, you know, he wants to copy me because I'm so cool. So, yeah, so if you guys are looking for a new bag, this bag is awesome. It's kind of big, but I can tell you it fits a lot of stuff. It loads from the back here. This is the panel where you get into all the camera gear, which I'll talk to you about in about 5 minutes or so. It has awesome straps, awesome belt straps, as well as a top section where you can fit a lot of extra stuff, along with extra jackets, and then you can strap your tripod onto either side or even the front here. So yeah, it's really good in all weather conditions. I haven't had a problem with it in the rain, snow, whatever. So yeah, this is a great bag. I highly recommend it. I'll put links to everything down below. And yeah, so let's get into the camera gear. We're gonna do one pocket at a time. So we're gonna start off with the top pocket here, which is like, it has a little waterproof zipper and it's pretty small. It just has a few random pieces in it. I have a compass. Then I have, you know, lens cloths. You gotta hide lens cloths all over your bag because then you can clean your lens whenever you have an issue. And then I also have like a random SD card just in case I lose a bunch of my other ones. So yeah, I usually put a few other random things in there. If I'm hiking, I'll put my keys and my sunglasses in this top pocket here. But besides that, it doesn't really hold that much in that first top pocket. But then once you get into the pocket right underneath it, which is this big flap, you can see the camera insert right here, and it basically acts as a little table, so you can shove all your stuff in there, and it's very expandable. So there's a pocket underneath here, which I keep a bunch of extra charging cables in, one for the Osmo Action that I just got, one for my phone, and one for a power bank that I have, as well as a thing of bug spray. So then what else I keep, if I have my laptop, or if I'm traveling with my laptop, it'll go right here in the front, in front of the camera insert. But for right now, I have my Peak Design camera strap, the removable camera strap, one of the best investments I've ever made. Again, link will be down below. It has these little things here that you slide into the things you attach to the camera, and you can remove it when you don't want it, or if you're doing a long exposure and it's in the wind and it'll get in the way. So that goes right in the front, along with my laptop if I'm traveling with my laptop. And then another thing I keep on the top is a solar panel power bank, and this thing is awesome. It can charge my phone like 4 or 5 times, and it has saved me in some situations. If I'm out on a long hike and I need power for my phone, this is awesome, and it'll be good for overnight hiking because of the solar power. It can charge itself in the sun. Okay, so we'll zip that back up. And then on the sides here, it has straps where you can strap on your tripod, but as well it has like side pockets. So in the side pockets, if I'm out in the winter or if it's cold out, I have North Face gloves in there, just light little gloves. As well as if I'm doing camping or hiking, I have a Life Straw in here, which is a water purifier, and that is just in case of emergencies. I've never really used it before. So I have a little lens brush here. This will just wipe off the dust from your lenses if you don't use the lens cloths. That I don't really use that much. I might even take that out for now. And that's it for that pocket. I have these, they're kind of like half gloves. They go over your wrists, and over your thumb, so your fingers are still free. So if your wrists are just a little bit cold, then you can put these on and you can still get to all the buttons on your camera. I got these actually like 6 years ago when I was in Peru with my dad on one of my first trips, and these have been with me for a very long time now. So then on the other side, it has the exact same pocket here. On this side I have my photography gloves. So if I'm not wearing those North Face gloves, I'll be wearing these if it's cold out. And basically these are fly fishing gloves. So when you're fly fishing, you need your fingers just like you need for photography. So it has these two cut out as well as your thumb, so you can get to all the buttons and all the dials on your camera and your lens. These are awesome. They're really warm, they're pretty waterproof, and they were really cheap compared to like $75 photography specific gloves. So I highly recommend these. They're the brand Orvis. You can check those out in the link below. Along with that, I have a headlamp. That's always good to have in your camera bag when you're doing photography at night, or if you're doing early sunrise or late sunset hikes, you know, you can see in the dark basically. And then along with that, if I'm doing hikes, I have a little emergency first aid kit, bandages, things like that in here. I've never had to use that, luckily, and it was pretty cheap. It was like $10, got it on Amazon, but it's always good to have. Then I have another flashlight. It is also a glow stick. You can use it as a lightsaber, you know. It also has a whistle on the bottom, just in case of emergencies, so that's just another extra thing to have in there. And then at the bottom is a flint and steel fire starter. So yeah, if you're ever, again, camping or in an emergency or something like that, you can whip this out and, you know, start a fire really easily. And it's pretty light, and it's just good to have in the bag. When I'm traveling, I don't keep all of this camping stuff in there. Like the fire starter, the first aid kit, and the water purifier, I don't carry those because it just added weight to the bag, and I like to travel as light as I can because camera stuff gets really heavy and hurts your shoulders after a while. So yeah, I remove the extra weight when I'm traveling. I probably won't take both pairs of gloves. I'll probably just take the fly fishing or photography gloves that I have. And yeah, so that helps me save on weight. But that's it for the outside pockets. Now we'll get into what you really came here for, which is the camera gear. So starting off, we have my main camera, which is the Nikon D500. And then the lens that I have on here is the 14-20 Tokina F2. So I bought this lens about 1.5 years ago, and then it stopped autofocusing when I was in Norway. I don't know if you've seen that video, but I'll link it up in the top. About 9 months ago I was in Norway and the autofocus just stopped working. But recently it has started working again. So I've been using this old lens, 10-20 Sigma, and this was what I was vlogging on before I got this new camera. But yeah, this lens is much better, it's sharper, and if it doesn't autofocus, it still manual focuses, so that's what I'll be using for my landscape shots, my wide angle shots, things like that. So that's my main camera. I also have the L bracket on here, which attaches to the tripod that you're seeing me through. We'll talk about that in a little bit, don't worry. So then under there I have another lens cloth, because again, you can't have too many of those. Then I have the DJI Mavic Air. So this is an awesome little drone. I've had it for about 1 year now. I've used it a lot. It's very helpful and just adds a lot to these videos. So you'll be seeing a lot of that come a week from now. We're gonna be in Iceland, and I'll be flying that drone a lot, as much as I can, because I'm really excited to see Iceland from above. I always see those epic drone shots, and it's gonna be awesome. So stick around for that if you want to see Iceland content. My next lens, which is my most used lens, is the Nikon 24-120 f4. So basically I can't afford the best of the best lenses, the 2.8s, like the 24-70 and the 70-200. So this is the next best thing. The 24-120 f4 is awesome. I've probably had this for 2 to 3 years now. I've even slipped on ice and chipped the outside of it, like the filter ring, and it still works. The filters still screw onto it, and it has VR vibration reduction, and it's just a great lens to have. It's all around. I pretty much use it for probably about 60 to 75% of my photos. Then the next one I have is the DJI Osmo Action, which I did a little review of last video. This camera is awesome. It replaced my old GoPro, and I'm looking forward to testing this out in Iceland also. Then under that, because it's a really small lens, is my Nikon 35mm 1.8. So this, I replaced my old 50mm with a 35 because I found that I wasn't using 50mm a lot and I like a little bit more of a wide angle. So I got this super tiny, really cheap 35mm 1.8, and it has been awesome. I don't use it all that much, but if I'm doing portraits or even wildlife that's really close to me, then I'll be using this to get the nice blurry background, and it is very sharp for a prime lens. So it's really light, so it's easy to travel with, and it fits perfectly in the camera bag. Then we're gonna go on to filters. So I have Lee filters. This is just a Haida filter holder case thing. I have the foundation kit, and then I have a 6-stop ND filter for those long exposures, and then I have a 2-stop graduated ND filter, I have a 1-stop graduated ND filter, I have a 3-stop graduated ND filter, so that'll help out when you're doing landscape photography and the sky is way too bright for the foreground. It'll help even the light out so you can get a better photo or to get the sunset better or sunrise. And then I have the Lee polarizer here as well. So then in the bottom of the bag here, I have all my chargers. I have a double battery charger for this camera and a Nikon D500 battery charger, which I charge my 4 extra batteries for my main camera. So I know 4 is kind of a lot, but yeah, I've run out of batteries before. They seem to die after a while if I've had them for a while, so I just recently got 2 new ones and replaced 2 old ones that were dying very quickly. So 4 batteries. I'm never gonna run out of batteries when I'm out in the field. And then next to that, I have a little waterproof case for SD cards. I have my cable release, so if you're doing longer than 30-second exposure, you plug this into the side of my camera, and then you can lock it up or just hold it down and you can get those long exposures. I've done a few minute exposures, I've done 30-minute exposures for stars, things like that. And then right here is the little rocket blower. So I know it looks tiny, but that's because I have it all squished up. No air is in it right now, and I have a rubber band around it because when it's fully inflated, it takes up a little bit more room in the bag. So with this wrapped up, it is much easier to pack around. And then the last things in this bag are some business cards. So in case I ever meet somebody out in the field or on a hike or something, I can give them my business card if they want one. So then another thing that I keep down here is something that everybody's learned from Brendan Vanson, which is to keep a shower cap in your camera bag. So basically, if you're out in the rain or you're out by a waterfall and you're getting sprayed up with water, you break out the shower cap, you put it over your lens, that way you can still compose your image, but your lens isn't getting wet. And then you pull the shower cap off right when you want to take the shot, and then put it back on, so you can see what you're seeing and not get the lens wet at the same time. So I always have one of these down there. I haven't really used it. I haven't used one ever, really. I've been out in the rain a lot. I just haven't gotten around to using it. So a few other things. If I'm doing a trip that I know has wildlife, I'll have this in my camera bag. I'll move things around. It'll be a little tight in there if I fit this lens, but this is the old version of the Nikon 300mm f4. So I bought this about 4 years ago, and it is a very sharp, awesome lens. I brought this to Africa my first time, and I brought it down to Argentina. If you saw in the previous vlogs, I was getting wildlife photos. So yeah, that's what I was using. I also have the Nikon teleconverter, the 1.4, right here on the end. So that gives me about a 420 focal range, and instead of f4, the teleconverter brings it down to f 5.6, I believe. So yeah, so if I know that I'm doing wildlife, or if I'm on a road trip and I can bring everything, then I will have this big lens in my camera bag as well. So then another thing that I have yet to officially pack in my camera bag, but for this Iceland trip, it is going to go right on the top there in that first open compartment. That is going to be the Ronin S. I know it comes with a carrying case, but that thing is huge. It protects it, but this thing is all made of metal and it can withstand some stuff. So I'm gonna just throw this in the top of my bag so it's ready to use when I need it. So then along with the drone, I have this little bag which came with it, the Fly More package I believe I got. And this has the controller in it, it has the chargers, and it has two extra batteries in here for the drone. So I usually just either put this in the top of the bag or I strap it onto the side. It's really light. It just, it just keeps everything for the drone in one place, and it just makes it easier to, fly the drone if you want. You just grab the drone out of your bag and grab this little bag, and you can go and fly the drone wherever you want instead of carrying your entire camera bag when you don't need it. Everything else besides that is what I'm filming on right now. So I have the EOS M50, the Canon EOS M50, and then a Rode Video Micro on top, and then my tripod, and my tripod head is Manfrotto. The tripod, oh gosh, I don't even remember the name of it. So the tripod is the Manfrotto 190 CX Pro 3, and it is a carbon fiber tripod. I've had it for 5 years now. This has been through everything. One of the feet fell off and then it broke. The whole leg went up into itself and I had to take it all apart, put it back together. And I don't have one of those little rubber feet for the bottom of it anymore, so I have just tape going around one of the bottom of the feet there. And it still works fine. There's no problems with it. So the ball head that I have is the BHQ6. It is a head that fits the L bracket on my camera. It's such an upgrade. I used to have just a normal plate head that just you click it into the plate. But now with the L bracket system, it's so much better, and I can easily flip my camera from landscape with the landscape position here to portrait, which is so helpful. I highly recommend that for anybody who's using a tripod. It is one of the best investments I've ever made in photography. It's made my photography so much easier. So that's a really great investment. I highly recommend that. And yeah, that's about it. So hopefully you guys, get some information about my camera gear from this video. But yeah, that's it for now. Stay tuned for other videos. I'm going to make a packing video for Iceland where you'll see, this jacket and all my camera gear as well for my trip to Iceland, which I'm leaving for in 7 days. So thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want to see more travel, adventure, landscape, and wildlife photography, as well as my trip to Iceland. So I'm really excited for that, and I hopefully will see you guys there and in the next video. So I'll talk to you guys then.